Hello and a hearty welcome back, fellow ARK survivors. Today's adventure is all about mastering the art of kibble making in ARK Survival Ascended. Whether you're a seasoned player or just starting out, this video is your ultimate guide to kibble. So don't forget to save it for quick access and feel free to use the chapter markers to jump straight to the info you're most curious about. So what's kibble and why should you use it? Kibble are food items that you create through a recipe used to tame creatures more quickly and with higher taming effectiveness. So to start, let me break down why kibble is super important for taming creatures. Simply put, using a creature's favorite kibble makes taming faster, more than 5 times quicker, and gives you better results. This means your tamed creature will have better stats and have higher taming effectiveness. Let's make this crystal clear with a couple of examples. First, let's take the mighty Rex. When you use kibble, not only does it tame much faster, but the taming effectiveness is also significantly higher. This means a stronger, better Rex for you. Now, let's go even deeper. Let's talk about the theory, okay? There's a big difference here. The difference is honestly massive. To tame a 150 theory, as you can see here on your screen, it takes just 20 exceptional kibble and a bit over an hour to tame it. But if you don't use kibble, look at these numbers. And let's say you opt for the crops instead. Brace yourself for a very long process because it's going to take you a whopping 5 hours to tame this theory, and anything can go wrong during that period of time. You know, that's a really long time that you don't want to spend, keeping an eye on something or having to worry about is, the structure you built around it going to hold and nothing's going to be able to sneak in. There's so many variables that go into play when you have a dino down. Okay, so of course you would want to, shorten your taming time by quite a bit. And as you can see here, 20 exceptional kibble bring it down by nearly 4 hours, a little over 4 hours. Unbelievable. So the takeaway from all of this is using kibble is a huge time saver and gives you stronger, more effective creatures. It's a win-win in the world of ARK taming. But kibble is used for other things as well. So keep in mind that kibble is not only just used in taming. Kibble is also used for imprinting on baby dinos. During care, they may want to be hand-fed a randomly selected kibble, and this can include any kibble that is not their species' preferred food. It's amazing when it happens, but sometimes it does. And for this reason, having many different types of kibble available will definitely, help you with your imprinting rates. So you won't run into a situation where you're like, well, I don't have any superior kibble. I've only got exceptional kibble or extraordinary kibble. So these things keep in mind. When you start breeding, you are going to want to be able to make the kibble these babies want. So definitely, you don't have to make it in advance if, let's say, you're only going for a kibble farm that has extraordinary kibble so you can feed it across the board. If a baby asks for a specific kibble, you have to give it that specific kibble. You can't go one higher and it won't work. It will not accept it. So just keep that in mind as well. So I've been talking a lot about taming effectiveness, and I want to clarify exactly what that is. Taming effectiveness is all about how many extra levels a creature will get after you tame it. So it starts out high, and then it goes down each time the creature eats. But the rate of this decrease actually slows down over time. So what does that mean? Better food, meaning kibble, means less of a drop in their effectiveness, leading to a more bonus leveled creature. So whatever it is you're trying to get, you definitely want its effectiveness to be as high as utterly possible. That's why when you're taming, you also have to be very careful not to hit the creature after you've taken it down, because that will also decrease its effectiveness. So just keep those things in mind. Be very careful when you're taking down these high-level creatures, because any, slip up can definitely affect it. And if that does happen, you do have the option to let it wake up and then take it down again to bring the effectiveness back up. So just keep all of that in mind. Now let's talk about how do you make kibble. You actually have two options available, the cooking pot and the industrial cooker. Now the cooking pot is an early game item. You can actually unlock this at level 8. It's very simple to make and it's very simple to use, and all of the recipes are listed inside of the cooking pot. I personally like using spark powder to fuel it because it does last longer, so just keep that in mind going forward. Now, with the industrial cooker, it's an amazing item. It is so wonderful, but it is also what I consider more of a mid-game to late-game item because you have to be a level 89 to unlock it. Even with the level up run, it will still take you some time to get to level 89. However, once you do, switching to the industrial cooker is truly amazing. One of the biggest reasons is you have a lot more room inside the inventory, and also you never have to worry about water again, because with the cooking pot, one of the things that's a disadvantage and very time consuming is you have to fill up your water jars, or if you have a canteen, you have to fill those up each time for each kibble, because each kibble takes 1 water. So when you can move into the industrial cooker, it is a way better option for making your recipes. All right, so now I want to show you what this looks like in the cooking pot and in the industrial cooker. So you're going to go to the file that says Kibble, okay? So you have all of your recipes here, okay? But when you click on Kibble right here, now you can see each one. And remember, with the cooking pot, you do need to fill the water jars, the water skins, the canteen, whatever you have. And again, as you see here, I prefer to use spark powder because it's a lot easier to fuel the cooking pot. So once you get your canteen, your water jar, etc., you will go over to wherever your water tank is. You will put in the item, okay? And down here at the bottom it says fill container. Now you have water in your container. I'm going to take it back over to the cooking pot so you can see it in action. Okay, so you will put it in, okay? And now look, you will see that the water is blue on each one of the recipes because it takes 1 water for each kibble. Now it's not the same in the industrial cooker because it's attached to the water, but you will find the kibble in the same spot. The folders are identical, but as you see, the water is already highlighted on the industrial cooker. It's also very, very important to disable Autocraft in the cooking pot as well as the industrial cooker, because if you don't, you run the risk of nothing being made except the dyes. So you won't make your recipes, but you will make a lot of different colored dyes. So keep that in mind and disable Autocraft so that way you can craft only the recipes you actually want to make. All right, so now let's move into talking about the kibbles. There are 6 different kibbles, as you can see here on your screen. They also have different colors, so it's really important to kind of memorize the colors. Or I also have a special resource that I'm going to share with you at the end of the video that you will be able to use that will make this process so much easier. I'm also going to include some insider tips to also make this process easier. So definitely don't go anywhere. Stick around till the end. So after looking at this chart, you see basic to extraordinary. What does that mean? Let's look at it in this way. Basic kibble can be fed to things like a dodo, a dillo. These are basic creatures. Now let's move up to extraordinary. What can extraordinary kibble feed? Okay, you can feed the UT, the extraordinary kibble. This is really important to know. All right, so now let's make the basic kibble. I'm going to show the entire process. Now I'm in the industrial cooker and I'm going to actually set the tracking for my basic kibble. This is a great way to be very efficient in getting exactly what you need for your kibble. Now you can, put all of the ingredients in there in bulk and make a lot of kibble, but if you were trying to make it maybe one or two, maybe you're one or two short, this is a great way to do this. Okay, so when it's tracked on your screen, and you can have up to 3 recipes, you can literally follow it to a T. As you see here, I am only taking out exactly what I need to make 1 kibble. Again, you can drop all of this in the cooking pot or in the industrial cooker and you can make a lot of kibble. But if you're looking to make, let's say 1 or 2, this is a great process to do that. Now I'm going to actually do it in the cooking pot for this one so you can see the process. So let me move out all of the jars that are empty. We have our 1 water jar that has everything, that it's filled. You can, again, enable Autocraft, disable Autocraft. Keep that in mind because if you don't, you can make dye versus making kibble, okay? So I'm putting everything over. As you see, it's emptying out on the tracking, okay? And it says that I need 5 fiber. So, of course, I'm going to put 5 fiber in the cooking pot. Now I know I have all of my ingredients. And you go to the kibble, and you go to the one you want to make, and you craft it. Craft 1, craft all, however you want to do it. But again, remember, if you don't disable Autocraft, you may not make your kibble, you may make just dye. And I just want you to be aware because that is very frustrating when you're not thinking about it and all of a sudden you look and it's taking all of your medjool berries and all of that to make dye. All right, so now let me show you how to make simple kibble. Again, you'll start with your tracking and you can see all of the ingredients on the corner of your screen. That way, when you go to your refrigerator, you'll be able to pull out exactly what you need, okay? Now, this is very simple. It's cooked fish meat, medjool berry, your simple dinosaur egg, fiber, raw carrot, and of course, water. Now, watch this. Now, I grabbed the wrong egg on purpose. Do you see how it wasn't highlighted in the corner over there? Now the correct one is when I chose the raptor egg. So you can't even mess up. So if you were to by accident grab the wrong egg, it would show you instantly instead of finding out the hard way once you finally get to the industrial cooker or the cooking pot. So now I'm going to put everything in there. Okay, now again, keep in mind this enable and disable Autocraft. You have to remember this because this can cause you a lot of grief. I know I keep bringing it up, but it's because people make dye all of the time and just waste their resources because they forget about this feature. Now you can have it on and it will give you your kibble, but it doesn't always. And I just want to keep bringing that point up for you. All right, so now let's make some regular kibble. And you're going to go over here to the blue, the darker blue of the 2 blues. And we are going to go to our handy dandy refrigerator and we're going to put in the ingredients that we need. Again, tracking is your best friend if you are not doing bulk kibble making. Let me move this around. So if it's in the way, it won't actually pick up anything in your refrigerator as you just saw there. I'm glad that happens so you could actually see it. So if that happens, just scroll and you'll be able to get in there and move everything over. So now I'm going to put everything in the industrial cooker. Okay, and we're going to set this. Okay, and now we know we need our fiber. So I'm going to put that in. And there you have it. Now we have our regular kibble. All right, so now we are moving into our superior kibble. Let me show you how it works. As you see, the ingredients kind of keep getting more and more depending on what we're doing. They get more complicated. There's more things to include in the recipe. Okay, so just be aware of that. As you move up the kibbles, they definitely become a lot more difficult to make. There's a lot more that goes into it. So you will need, like your mushrooms, you will need your prime meat jerky and things of that nature. And of course, you'll need sap. So you will have to set that up so that you can get your sap. So just keep in mind that the higher the recipe, the more complicated it can be to make. Okay, so now we are making our superior kibble. All right, so now we are moving into our exceptional kibble, and I left it on the screen with the superior just so you can see that they are there, and then all you have to do is just click it off. Now with the exceptional kibble, there's something new here. There's an additional recipe, so you will have to make the focal chili. As you see here, both recipes are on your screen. So focal chili has to be made to be included in the recipe for the exceptional kibble. So there are extra steps involved with the last two kibbles. Both the exceptional and the extraordinary kibble require one additional recipe. So now that I have everything in there, I can craft the exceptional kibble. So I'm moving everything over right here. There you go. And we need to add our fiber. And now that fiber is there. And voila, we have exceptional kibble. And now we move into the extraordinary kibble. As you can see here on the screen, we need the Lazarus chowder as well. So again, the last two kibbles, the best kibbles, require an additional recipe to be made. So there is additional things that need to be done. However, as you can see here, the Lazarus chowder is not really all that difficult to make. It's actually kind of straightforward. So just be aware that you will need to make that in advance before you go in to make your extraordinary kibble. So I'm moving everything over, and as you can see, you will need honey for this recipe as well. So just keep these things in mind, that you will need to have a bee, you will need to have honey in some way, shape, or form. You have to keep these things, around you so that they're available when you're ready to make your extraordinary kibble. Now what I want to show you is which dinosaurs provide the eggs that work with which kibble and which dinosaurs prefer the particular kibble. So we've just covered basic kibble. Now we're moving into simple kibble. As you see, there are several dinosaurs, several creatures that you can use the egg from to create the kibble for the preferred creatures. So the regular kibble has a very long list. It's the biggest list out of all of the kibbles. So definitely check out this list. Also, all of this information came from Dododex, and you will find the link in the description box below. So definitely go over there and check that out because all of this information is listed there, and they, are a great resource when you're playing Ark Survival Ascended. So now we're on to the last kibble, which is extraordinary. As you see here, the dinosaurs that I definitely recommend thinking about getting is the UT to make an extraordinary kibble farm. All right, so now I want to share with you some tips. Take a look at the UT egg. Do you see where it says extraordinary nutritional value? That means it works with the extraordinary kibble. It's right on the egg. Here's a Rex egg. Exceptional nutritional value goes for the exceptional kibble. We have the RG egg, which is superior nutritional value. So that's the superior kibble. I mean, it's amazing because you can see it right on the egg. We have the turtle egg, which is the regular nutritional value, which is the regular kibble. Then we have the raptor egg, which provides simple nutritional value, simple kibble. And last but not least, we have the dodo egg that provides basic nutritional value. Again, the basic kibble. So you can look directly at the eggs to see which kibble they work with. Another tip that I have for you is you can use fertilized eggs. So let's say you're short on your kibble and you just don't have enough eggs to get the amount that you need. You can breed your dinos and use a fertilized egg. So I just want to show you the process. So I have my Rex fertilized egg that I just took out of the Oviraptor. Now the Rex makes the exceptional kibble. So I'm going to track it so I can get the other ingredients from the fridge. So we're going to do that now. So we already put the Rex egg in the industrial cooker. Now we're going to get our focal chili. We're going to get our medjool berries. We're going to get our rare flour. And then we're going to go back and we are going to make some kibble with a fertilized egg. And I just want you to see it in action so that you know that it does work. So we're moving this over. Okay, and then we're going to go in. We're going to select it. And here we go. Now we have exceptional kibble made with a fertilized egg. All right, so here on your screen is the resource that I mentioned earlier in the video. this is available. The link to download this graphic is in the description box below. It's something that I put together. That way it's easier. You don't have to go online and look stuff up. You can do it on the fly. So you're like, okay, I'm flying around and I see a 145 Spino. I definitely want this thing. So I look at my graphic. What color is Spino? It's yellow. That means it takes exceptional kibble. One and done. Now you know, quick and easy, okay, I need to go get my exceptional kibble, or I need to go make some exceptional kibble. The same thing, let's say you see a dire bear and you're like, yeah, I want a dire bear. That's going to be mine. It's a 150, let's say. And you're like, yeah, this is what I need. It's pink on this graphic, which means it's superior kibble. One and done. You look up, you see the color, you know exactly which kibble you need. And this has been so helpful for us because we have it on our screen. We have two screens and one of them has this on it. And we just glance over and we're like, oh, okay, we're going to need to get this kibble. We can go back and grab it immediately. We don't even have to think about it because we look at the color and we move on. So definitely download this image and utilize it because it will make things so much faster for you. So that's all I got for you, survivors, on how to master Kibble, when to use it, how to use it, and why to use it. I also threw in some tips and tricks and a graphic. So I really hope all of this is helpful. Do you have any tips or tricks that you would like to share with the community? Please put them in the comments below. Let's work together so that we can make everyone's gameplay successful. Until next time, survivors, keep surviving!